Oh, Emmerdale fans, can we just take a collective breath? Because the news we just gotten about Cain Dingle is, well, it's a lot. If you've been holding out hope for a happy reunion, if you've been anxiously waiting for Cain to walk back into Butler's farm and pull Moira into his arms, you need to prepare yourself. What's coming is the exact opposite of a happy ending. In fact, it sounds like it's the beginning of a truly devastating new chapter for the entire Dingle family. We all knew Cain was on a dark path. How could he not be? He's a man consumed by a grief so powerful and a rage so deep, it's practically eating him alive. After the horrific death of his son, Nate Robinson, Cain hasn't been thinking straight. He's been driven by one thing and one thing only: vengeance. His entire focus has been on hunting down the villainous John Subden, the man responsible for tearing his family apart. This quest even led him to France, far away from the family that still needs him so desperately. And while Cain has been off on this hopeless hunt, life back in the Dales has been falling apart. Let's just take a moment to think about what Moira is going through. Monday's episode was a gut punch. We saw her struggling, not just with a cold, which, let's be honest, is probably her body physically shutting down from the stress and grief, but with the crushing weight of holding the family together all by herself. She's trying to run the farm, she's trying to be strong, but she's clearly at her breaking point. We saw her loyal stepson, Maddie Barton, offering to step up and take her place at a meeting. It's a kind gesture, but it's just another reminder that the one person who should be there, her husband, is gone. Then came the moment that shattered our hearts into a million pieces. Her young son, Kyle, just a little boy missing his dad, asked the simple, innocent question that Moira has no answer for: when is Dad coming home? You could see the pain in Moira's eyes. She had to admit to her son that she just doesn't know. Can you imagine the helplessness, the fear? And to make matters worse, she was so overwhelmed that she ended up missing Kyle's football match. A small thing, but for a mother who is trying to keep everything normal for her kids, it feels like a monumental failure. Later, we saw her finally break. She did the only thing she could. She picked up the phone, called Cain, and was met with the cold, empty silence of his voicemail. We could practically hear her thoughts as she left that message, pleading with the husband she barely recognizes anymore. She wasn't just asking him to come home. She was begging him to come back for his family, for Kyle, for her. She needs her partner, and her son needs his father. She hung up, left with nothing but that sickening dread. But then the phone finally rang. For one split second, her heart leaped. Is it him? Is he finally calling me back? But it wasn't Cain. On the other end of the line was the police. Just imagine that feeling, the blood draining from your face, the world tilting on its axis. The police. Why? What's happened? Is he hurt? Is he worse? The news was a new kind of nightmare. The police informed Moira that her husband, Cain, had been arrested. He wasn't in France anymore. He was being held in Dover. Dover. That's all she knows. Arrested. That's all she knows. The questions are immediate and terrifying. What did he do? What happened during his time away? Did he find John? Did he do something to him? Why was he arrested? Is he even safe? The not knowing is a special kind of torture, and Moira is living it. We don't have to wait long for the answers, as Cain is set to make his explosive on-screen return this Wednesday. But based on what we're hearing, we all need to brace ourselves. This isn't the return of the Cain we know. An inside source close to the show has given a chilling warning about what's to come, and it's truly heartbreaking. Cain finally comes back from his wild goose chase in France, but he's an absolute mess, our source reveals. An absolute mess. That's not just tired from traveling. That's a man who has been to hell and hasn't quite made it all the way back. And here's the kicker. His mission was a failure. He didn't find John, the source continues, so he feels as though he's failed his son Nate and hasn't got justice for him. This is the core of his pain. It's not just grief, it's shame. This feeling of fatherly shame fuels his self-destructive grief, the source explains. Cain feels he let Nate down, not just in death, but in life too. He's a father who believes he failed in his most basic duty, to protect his child. And how is he coping with this monumental, soul-crushing guilt? In the worst way possible. Cain turns to booze for comfort, our source warns. This is the part that is so terrifying. Cain is already a man who walks a fine line, a man prone to darkness and violence. A Cain who is drowning his guilt and grief in alcohol is a danger to everyone, including himself. He is a ticking time bomb, and his family is right in the blast radius. The source paints a tragic picture of his mindset. Even though Cain still has a family who needs him, he can only focus on the son that he lost. He can't see Moira, who is crumbling right in front of him. He can't see Kyle, who is desperate for his dad. He is blinded by the past, haunted by the cruel final words John said in the woods. This is what's truly destroying him. Cain fears that Nate died hating him, the source adds, and he won't rest until he makes it up to him, even though Nate would surely want him to find peace. Cain isn't just grieving a son, he's grieving the relationship he'll never get to fix. He's trapped in a loop of guilt, convinced his son's last thoughts of him were full of hatred. And now he's back home, but he's not there. He's a shell of a man, lost in a bottle, punishing himself for a failure he can't undo. So when Cain Dingle walks back into Emmerdale this week, don't expect any relief. Expect pain, expect anger. Expect a man so broken that he might just break everything and everyone around him. The real question is no longer where is Cain. The question is, can Moira and his family pull him back from this abyss before he's lost for good? How dark will things get in the Dingle house? And will Cain's self-destruction be the final thing that rips his family apart? We will all be watching, tissues in hand. This is going to be a rough one. What do you think will happen? Can Cain ever find his way back?